5 things to do in Memphis this weekend, August 5 through 7. Could this weekend be straight out of a storybook adventure? An article by Abigail Morisi, brought to you by Memphis, the City Magazine. Celebrating 10 years of the Carpenter Art Garden. Carpenter Art Garden, Carpenter and Mimosa. Friday, August 5, 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. V5 faux fum, I gotta get my work done. And if at the end of the day my four-legged son trades my earnings for a handful of beans, we all know what that means. Beans, a magical fruit. The more he eats, the more well, let's just say those beans aren't going to grow into a beanstalk, and I'm not about to climb up into the clouds and find a palace full of gold and fight off a giant. But, oh boy, if only a couple of seeds could transport you away from the humdrum. For now, though, it seems our imagination will have to do, and the Carpenter Art Garden is the perfect place for those seeds of wonder to grow. This Friday, the nonprofit is celebrating its 10th anniversary of working with and inspiring Binghamton's neighborhood youth with its various free services ranging from an art garden to a laundry co-op to tutoring and music lessons. The celebration will consist of art, food, and creativity on the organization's 7 properties. Student artwork will be on display and available for purchase, with 70% of your purchase going to the student artist and the rest going back to the garden's free programs. To titillate your taste buds, you can enjoy light bites created by programming coordinator Latonia Hunt using the garden's fresh vegetables, tomato pie from Muddy's Bake Shop using their heirloom tomatoes, and Mim Pop's watermelon basil popsicles made with fresh basil from the garden. Rico's Kickin' Chicken food truck will also be on site. Tickets for the event are $25 each and free for the Binghamton students and their families. Purchase tickets from the link you'll find below this video. From Artisans to Artist Talk. Whitehaven Branch Library, 4120 Mill Branch Road, Saturday, August 6, 3 p.m. You've heard of the Grimm brothers and Hans Christian Andersen, and how they spun those fairy tales that Disney animated into Happily Ever After. And by now, I'm sure you know that the original material was a tad bit darker than the Little Mermaid returned to the sea and didn't marry her prince, that our precious Cinderella was more than happy to order crows to peck out her stepsister's eyes. But why did Disney fail to include these aspects of the stories? Was it to protect the children, or to protect their image so they could get away with their own evil capitalist machinations? The merchandising, the sequels, the remakes, and the theme parks. But listen, this is not the hill I'm going to die on. There are far more important forgotten stories hidden from the public consciousness that we should be talking about, and Professor Ernestine Jenkins is doing just that with her latest exhibit at the Metal Museum. From Artisans to Artists, African American metalworkers in Memphis. For this exhibition, Jenkins used surviving artifacts and primary source documents to research more than a dozen African American blacksmiths whose stories are at risk of being lost to history. As such, this exhibition looks closely at the morphing artisan identity and evolving blacksmith practices in the 19th and 20th centuries, examining the role of African American blacksmiths from Central and West Africa to modern-day Memphis. This Saturday at the Whitehaven Library, Jenkins and sculptor Desmond Lewis, whose work is featured in the show, will speak about early Whitehaven blacksmiths and the history of blacksmithing. Admission is free, but seating is limited. From Artisans to Artists is on display through September the 11th at the Metal Museum. The Beauty Shop's 20th anniversary. The Beauty Shop Restaurant, 966 South Cooper, Saturday, August 6, 4 p.m. The best advice from fairy tales. Stop asking yourself or your magic mirror, who's the fairest of them all? That question gets you nowhere, as evinced by a certain evil queen. But as for the one question they'll always get you somewhere, it's, what's for dinner? And I bet that question has led you to the beauty shop at least once in your life. And I have a feeling you'll end up there this weekend. After all, it's the big 2-0 for the restaurant, and they're pulling out all the stops going back to the original 2002 menu for the weekend with all staff in beehive hairdos and original outfits. After dinner, head on over to Bar DKDC for a concert like no other with Harlan T. Bobo back home from France, along with Jack Olivians and his band, not to mention the second line down Cooper with the Lucky 7 brass band. Tickets have sold out online, but some will be available to purchase at the door. And check out Alex Green's article in our sister publication, the Memphis Flyer, about Harlan T. Bobo's homecoming. You can find a link to that article in the description below this video. A Night of Poetry, Melissa Ginsburg, Eleanor Boudreau, and Sandra Simonds. Novel, 387 Perkins. Saturday, August 6, 6 p.m. Tale as old as time. Song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast is a ripoff of the myth of Cupid and Psyche. If you don't believe me, translate Apuleius yourself, or do what I did and read the wiki page, because that is the source of all my information. But let's face it, we all love a good twist on a classic story, and thank the heavens writers are still at it today. In fact, this weekend's Night of Poetry at Novel shows just that, seeing that Melissa Ginsburg's newest book of poetry, Doyle Apollo, merges mythology with close attention to the patterns, colors, and contours of the material world. To celebrate the release of Doyle Apollo, Novel is hosting a talk by Ginsburg with fellow poet Eleanor Boudreau of Sandra Simonds. Ginsburg will also sign copies of her book. Memphis Chicken and Beer Festival, Liberty Bowl Stadium, 940 Early Maxwell. Saturday, August 6, 6 to 10 p.m. I say, what big eyes you have. You say, the better to see my dinner. I say, what big hands you have. You say, the better to hold on to my dinner. I say, what a big mouth you have. You say, the better to consume my dinner. And what is this dinner? Well, if you're heading to the Memphis Chicken and Beer Festival, it's not too hard to guess. At the festival, restaurants will be selling their special chicken dish at $2 to $5 as a snack-sized portion. This will allow attendees to try as many places as possible. Restaurants will also have regular portions at their regular prices. The festival will also feature live entertainment, yard games, inflatables, and more. Tickets, $40, general admission, $20, designated driver. Include admission, a souvenir glass, and more than 90 beverage samples. Proceeds beverage, Merge Memphis. This event is 21 plus. Tickets can be purchased online, and you'll find a link below this video. If you enjoyed this 5 things you can do in a Memphis weekend, you can have the current series delivered to your email every Friday. Simply subscribe to our free email subscription. You can find a link in the description below this video. Did I mention it's free?